Most people believe being rare means being different, standing out, or simply not fitting in. But in truth, rare personalities are not defined by appearance, fashion, or even lifestyle. They are defined by how deeply you think, how intensely you feel, and how clearly you perceive the world around you. Having a rare personality doesn't mean you are strange. It means you live on a higher plane of awareness where meaning runs deeper than words, and truth echoes louder than noise. If you find yourself connecting with most of what I'm about to say, you don't just exist. You experience life on a completely different level, and that is both your strength and your struggle. You see, rare minds think in layers, not lines. Most people see life as a straight path, a simple cause and effect, a beginning and an end. But you see beyond that. You notice the why behind every what, the emotion behind every action, the pattern behind every outcome. Psychologists call this metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. It's a rare mental gift that very few possess because it demands brutal honesty and emotional distance. While most people react to life, you analyze your reaction before expressing it. You dissect your emotions, not to suppress them, but to understand them. You don't run from pain, you examine it until it reveals its purpose. And this awareness, this ability to witness your own mind, is what makes you powerful in a world that barely knows itself. You also feel energy more than words. When you walk into a room, you can sense tension before anyone speaks. You can detect pain behind a smile or truth hidden beneath silence. You notice tone shifts, eye movements, and vibrations in the air that most people overlook. This isn't overthinking. This is empathic accuracy, one of the rarest psychological skills. It's what makes you emotionally intelligent and spiritually attuned, but it's also what makes you tired of shallow conversations. You carry an antenna tuned to emotions, constantly absorbing the energy of those around you. Sometimes that becomes heavy, because while others are blind to energy, you feel it in your bones. But remember, this sensitivity isn't weakness, it's your gift. It's your inner compass that tells you who's genuine and who's pretending, who's honest and who's hiding. You also crave depth over connection. You don't need hundreds of people around you to feel alive. You'd rather have one conversation that touches your soul than 1,000 that lead nowhere. You are not drawn to attention, you are drawn to meaning. Psychologists describe this as low social reward sensitivity. Your brain doesn't chase validation or approval. You value authenticity over popularity. You want to talk about purpose, not gossip. You want to discuss ideas, not people. In a world obsessed with likes and followers, your silence becomes rebellion. Because you understand that true connection is not built in noise. It's born in stillness, when two souls meet in truth. And while others crumble in chaos, you grow calmer. When everything around you starts to fall apart, something inside you becomes still. You may not understand it at first, but that's your nervous system mastering emotional regulation. You have trained your mind to stay grounded under pressure. You don't deny your emotions. You simply refuse to let them control you. You don't run from fear. You face it with clarity. You don't drown in pain. You observe it until it passes. This doesn't mean you don't feel hurt. It means you've learned to process pain without letting it poison your peace. That is the strength of a disciplined mind, a calm soul, and a resilient heart. You are the storm's silence, the one who brings order when everything seems lost. You also feel deeply uncomfortable in shallow environments. Fake smiles, meaningless chatter, and trend-driven behavior feel like poison to your spirit. It's not that you are antisocial, it's that your mind rejects inauthenticity. You cannot fake emotions you don't feel. You can't pretend to like what you don't respect. Psychologists call this high authenticity orientation. It's the mark of someone who has integrated truth into their identity. And yes, this honesty comes at a cost. It makes you stand out. It makes you misunderstood. It makes others uncomfortable because your presence silently demands realness. But that's exactly why your energy feels different. You refuse to shrink yourself to fit a shallow world. You also learn through observation, not instruction. While others wait to be told what to do, you notice patterns that reveal what to do next. You watch, you analyze, you absorb. You learn not just from lessons, but from silence. Not from what people say, but from what they avoid saying. This is observational intelligence, a skill common among highly intuitive thinkers. You learn faster because you don't memorize, you understand. You don't just store information, you extract insight. That's why traditional systems, schools, corporate jobs, rigid structures often feel suffocating to you. They weren't built for minds like yours. You don't follow paths, you create them. There's also a quiet power you carry, a silent depth that others can sense but can't define. People may underestimate you at first because you don't overshare. You prefer to observe before speaking. You study people before trusting them. And when you finally choose to speak, your words carry weight because they come from reflection, not impulse. Psychologists describe this as a reflective personality structure. You process life internally and respond only when your thoughts have matured into clarity. That's why you don't chase attention. You attract curiosity. People may not always understand you, but they feel your presence. They feel that there's more beneath your calm expression, a world of wisdom, strength, and stillness. And perhaps one of the rarest traits of all, you can be alone without feeling lonely. Most people fear solitude because it confronts them with their unhealed selves. But you find peace in silence. Your solitude is not emptiness, it's your sanctuary. You use your alone time to recharge, to think, to realign with your purpose. Psychologically, this is known as high self-integration, when your sense of identity doesn't depend on others' approval. You've built a home within yourself, and that's something very few people ever manage to do. You are not escaping the world. You are simply tuning into your inner world, where strength, clarity, and creativity live. Having a rare personality doesn't mean you're special in an arrogant way. It means you're real in a world that rewards performance. You probably don't fit in easily. Not at work, not in crowds, not even among family sometimes. But that's not a flaw. That's your fingerprint. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to illuminate. Rare personalities are often misunderstood because the majority cannot see what you see. They can't feel what you feel. They can't understand why you crave truth more than comfort, or why you choose solitude over noise. But that's the price of awareness, the cost of seeing the world as it truly is. You may often question, why do I feel so different? Why can't I be like others who seem so carefree? The answer is simple. Because your mind has evolved past illusion. You've broken the surface. You no longer find joy in the temporary. You've tasted meaning, and once you do, nothing else satisfies. And yes, it can be lonely, but it's the loneliness of greatness, the silence that shapes wisdom. The most powerful minds in history, philosophers, monks, sages, all walked that same quiet road. They were misunderstood in their time but revered for their insight later. So if you recognize yourself in these words, understand this. You are not broken, you are not strange, you are rare. And the world doesn't always know how to handle rarity. Your sensitivity is your strength. Your calmness is your power. Your depth is your light. You are one of the few who see life not as a competition, but as a meditation. You don't seek to win over others. You seek to win over yourself. That's the essence of inner mastery. That's what SHI HENG YI teaches. The art of seeing beyond illusion, the strength of stillness, the discipline of the spirit. In a society that celebrates noise, your silence is rebellion. In a culture obsessed with performance, your authenticity is power. In a world that teaches people to fake happiness, your self-awareness is your crown. So never apologize for being different. Never hide your depth to make others comfortable. The world needs your kind of mind, minds that think deeply, love sincerely, and live truthfully. Because it's people like you who remind humanity that real strength isn't in domination, but in understanding, not in control, but in consciousness. And if this message resonated deeply, it's because it speaks to the part of you that already knows. You are here to live differently, to lead quietly, and to inspire others through the power of awareness. This is your reminder. Don't dim your light to match a dull world. Rise above it, stay rare, stay real, and always walk your daily path to strength. If this message spoke to your soul, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Daily Path to Strength, and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us, which of these rare traits do you see in yourself? Your story might inspire someone who's been feeling misunderstood. Stay strong, stay aware, and keep walking the path within, the path to your truest strength.